Into Zoom. All right, we all set.
Yay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the HES Go Team Meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it. Do y'all hear that feedback? Hold on, maybe it's mine. Yeah, I think it was mine. All right, got that on mute. All right. Apologize for that. So where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noted. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go team, please identify yourself when you speak. I'm pleased to call this meeting of Humphreys Elementary Go Team to order at this time. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take the roll.
Please respond present when your name is called. Tierra Barnes. Abigail Reese-Kelly.
Present.
Hold on, Campbell, Ms. Campbell. Ms.
Sure.
Barnes is logging in now.
Oh, great.
She's
Didn't have get on until a moment. I'm here.
Yay. Damian Marshall.
Here.
Shakita Lanier.
she's driving, but she's present.
Yes, I see her.
Present.
Okay.
Thank you. Michael Charles. Ms. Someone. I can see Ms. Someone, so I know she's present.
Yeah, she's here. She was having some computer issues, so she's headed upstairs.
Okay.
Ms. Campbell, does that complete the roll call?
Yes, it does.
All right. This team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Mrs. Campbell, is there a quorum present?
Yes, we have 5 people present, and that is a quorum. So yes, there is a quorum present.
All right, so that means we can proceed to take action. Yes.
Hold on one second, Ms. Campbell. You saying you have 5?
Ms. Barnes, Ms. Reese-Kelly, Mr. Marshall, Ms. Lanier, myself, and Ms. Someone.
That's 6, isn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it is 6. My
Okay.
apologies. I forgot to write present next to my name.
Okay.
But it would have been a quorum at 4 because we are down a couple of members.
All right, so we will proceed to our action items. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you via email. I will show a copy here on my screen. For your review, let me pull that up.
My apologies. Miss Someone has arrived upstairs. Were you sharing the screen with the agenda?
I'm about to right now.
Good, good, good.
Mhm.
So. let's fix it.
Okay. Can we all see that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As I said, this was provided to you via email. I will show this copy to you on my shared screen. Please take a moment to review the agenda and let me know if there are any changes to the agenda that needs to be made. Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda? If not, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say A so the secretary can record your vote. All opposed, please say nay. Any absences, please say abstain. You also can use your reaction button at the bottom and give a thumbs up. You have that documented, Ms. Campbell?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, we will now review and approve the minutes, the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you via email.
One small note, because we did not have a quorum in our October meeting, we need to approve both the September and the October minutes.
All right, thank you for that.
Because we could not approve of them last time because that's an action item. So both minutes were sent.
And that was for September the 27th and October the 25th, correct?
Correct.
So I would take this opportunity to share those with you all just in case if you don't have them available. All right, so this is our September 27th. Are there any corrections to the September 27 minutes? If not, may I get a motion to approve September the 27, 2023 minutes?
We approve the September 26th.
Thank you. Can I get a second? All right. Looks like Ms. Barnes raised her hand to second, and she also used her reaction button. Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Next, I'm going to show you all the minutes, the meeting minutes from October the 25th, 2023. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at the minutes just to make sure they are accurate.
In the world scrapped 2 projects off the coast of New Jersey. It is suspended work off the coast of Maryland and Delaware. Now, Republicans say the president needs to reassess.
Someone, can you please go on mute? Thank you.
Go with whether you need a place to relax. No.
All right, it looks like that concludes our minutes from October the 25th. At this time, I'm going to open the floor. Are there any corrections that need to be made for our meeting on October the 25th, 2023? If not, can I get a motion to approve the minutes for October the 25th, 2023?
I move that we approve the minutes from October.
Thank you. And it looked like Ms. Lanier is second that approval with her reaction button. All right. All in favor say yay or nay or show your reaction button. Looked like we had several people that did that already. I believe I saw Reese Kelly and also Ms. Lanier. I also approve. So now we will move to the discussion items on our agenda for today. And so our first discussion item is 45-day continuous improvement plan. Mr. Trimble, would you like to chime in?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to take a just quick look at our continuous improvement plan. I'm going to show you that, but then I'm going to show you the actual work that we do as a school improvement team as it relates to that. Dr. Marshall, can I have rights to share, please?
Sure. There you go.
So this is our continuous improvement plan, and it's 47 pages long. So like I said, I won't go through this document. I'll just kind of breeze through it so you can see it. If you would like to come to the school at any time and take a look at it, you're more than welcome. I could tell you that the really heart of the document is this page here. So as a school, our goals are to increase the number of students that score in proficiency in reading by 5%, proficiency or above. We have the same goal for math, increase the number of students in proficiency or above by 5%, and then to decrease the number of students that miss more than 18 days of school. And so we would like to decrease that number of students by 5%. And so those are our 3 goals. What you see here beneath that are some action steps and ways that we monitor progress. And so if you continue to go on through the document, what you see here is just the action steps that we will take. And then we have at least 3 action steps per goal. And I'm going to go in more detail a little bit about those, but I just wanted to show you where they lay in this document. And that's pretty much all of this document. There's some family engagement pieces that we have. And then there's some federal programs pieces that we have as far as obtaining federal dollars in Title I. Okay, and so now what our school improvement team does is this is our working document, and I'll kind of go and show that. Okay. And so this is, we meet periodically. Really, it's what it counts to about once every 6 weeks. We don't meet every month. We meet about every 6 weeks. And so this is goal 1. If you remember, goal 1 was increase the ELA proficiency or reading proficiency by 5%. And so our action steps were to implement and monitor the use of our school-based literacy plan. And our school, really our former ELA instructional coach, along with myself, we developed a school-based literacy plan. And so we're implementing that and monitoring the use of that this school year. Implementing and monitoring the small group instruction and targeted group instruction, as well as Right Score and our second semester ELA focus group. So we only have 4 action steps for ELA. And what we do is we take a look at these each time and see if we need to move them or have them in progress. So if you can look here, to implement the school-based literacy plan, it's been implemented. So now we're in the monitoring phase of improvement. Implementing Right Score resources. So again, we're in the monitoring phase of improvement. Implement ELA targeted small group instruction and guided reading. We're still in the implementation phase because it's a lot of professional development that had to come with this one. However, for next semester in January, we will be moving it to the monitoring phase because at that time, the expectation is for all teachers that teach ELA will be doing this one. And then the second semester ELA milestones focus groups, that's in the planning stage because it's really dependent on our winter map scores, which we're in the process of taking now. And so this is ELA. Okay, we have a similar document for mathematics. Again, same thing with the 5% increase. Full implementation of the APS math framework. And so ELA, we didn't have a change in curriculum or resources, so we developed our own literacy plan. However, the Atlanta Public Schools District had a new framework and a new curriculum. The state had a new curriculum, and we also purchased a new resource. So we are going by their framework right now. And then that second goal, action step is implementing all of those new means that I just spoke about. The SAVAS which is our resource, the DOE resources, exemplars, and the new curriculum. So we're also having a focus on fact and procedural fluency. And then again, the second semester GMAT focus groups. And then if you look here, most of those are in the monitoring phase. The focus and fact procedural fluency, we actually have our first multiplication bee next week, next Friday. And so we will at that time move that over to monitor as well. And then the second semester GMAT focus, again, because that's depending on the our MAP scores, it's in the planning stages now, and we will go, as soon as we get those, go into implement, and then quickly we'll go into monitor. Okay, we have one last goal, our goal 3. And again, to remind everyone, that is our goal on attendance. And so some of the action steps are to hold our whole child intervention team meetings. And that particular team actually is comprised of 2 different teams, our student attendance committee and our care team committee. And so they're merged into one, and they meet weekly to discuss the needs of all of our children, but they narrow it down to those that have presented a need, be it attendance, behavior, or academics. Distribute monthly incentives for student attendance, that is ongoing, and utilize a parent liaison coordinator to engage our top 20 focus groups that have presented attendance barriers. And then if we go down here, the whole child intervention, that's in the monitoring phase. Distributing monthly positive incentives, again, monitor, because we do those already. Implementing the top 20 focus group, we're in the implementation phase on that one, still getting it going. And I think this one, Dr. Marshall is actually on that team, but I think this one is still in the planning because it kind of refers to staff. And so I think that's why that one's still in planning. But the whole child intervention team, they do meet weekly, and they provide resources to students and families as needed. Okay, and that pretty much wraps up our continuous improvement plan. Again, we have 3 goals for the school year, and it's really 5, 5, 5. 5 for ELA, an increase in proficiency and or above. 5 in mathematics, increase in proficiency or above, and 5 for attendance, and that is a decrease in the number of students that miss more than 18 days. So 5, 5, 5. That's kind of easy to remember, but that is our continuous improvement plan. The next item on our agenda is our fall to winter MAP data. Again, we are right now taking MAP, and we will be taking MAP until the rest of the calendar year, or the rest of the school calendar year. Just so you know that students do not test every day. However, that window is for until December 15th. And so just an example, we may have 2 or 3 grade levels testing on one day. The next day, they'll have 2 or 3 grade levels of test. And then that will be all the tests they take this week. And so then the following week, they would take another test, again, 2 or 3 grade levels on one day and 2 or 3 on the next. And then that third week, our kindergarten through 3rd grade students will take a final test on reading fluency. And so, but we don't have any of that data just yet. And so we will table discussion on that data until our next meeting, next calendar year. Okay. Dr. Marshall, did you want me to do the strategic plan?
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
Okay. And I'm going to do this from, well, I'll go ahead and pull it up. Okay, so this is our strategic plan. This is a document that's been that we've worked in, looked at it several times. It will not change until after next school year. And it is found on the Humphreys website. If you go to the Humphreys website, and go down to Go Team Resources. And then if you click on there, you will see the strategic plan. So a lot of this we were able to do last year, like we ranked our priorities or re-ranked them as a new Go Team last year. So we revised some of the rankings, and this is what we came up with. Okay. So a lot of the rest of this is lagging data from 2019. But this here, I think there is a item on the agenda that we would take a look at these. And if we still agree with these, you all would vote on it. But if there needs to be any changes, that we would change them at this time. And so if you could just take a look at the document here and see if we still agree as a body, if we still agree with the rankings for our strategic priorities. Okay. And so, Dr. Marshall, that's the next action item on your agenda for you.
So the next action item is for us to vote on the strategic plan priorities ranking. This must be completed before winter break. So at this time, but first of all, do we have any questions around the ranking and the strategic plan that was just presented?
No questions.
Okay. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and move forward with voting on the strategic plan priority ranks. So go ahead and use your reaction button. If it's a yay. Mrs. Campbell, let me know when you are done. I can't see anything on my end.
Dr. Marshall, is this a time to ask a question if we're voting on it?
Yes, regarding the strategic plan priorities?
Yes.
Yes.
What is the district intervention initiative? This says full implementation, so I'm guessing it's not being done with Fidelity yet.
Well, actually, it is. This was a part of the schools combating the learning loss that took place during the COVID. And so I wouldn't say every school, but about 90% of Atlanta public schools have a 30-minute intervention time. And so ours is from 8 to 8:30. And that's with every student in the building receiving additional ELA and math support.
Okay.
And so this well, we're not sure. We're not sure how next year will go. But again, this was a part of the district's initiative to combat learning loss. And I say that to say that it was also funded by additional COVID resources that we received. So I'm not sure how it will look next year.
Right, right. Because those fundings are ending this year, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
And so with this document still being 2 years away from finality, we'll have to look at that and see. We may move that. I definitely say we will move that all to the bottom. But for the rest of this year, at least, we are still doing the district intervention.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to ask because it said full. So that's why I was asking if there was something that was being done. Not. Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trimble.
Yep.
Are there any other questions? All right, if there aren't any other questions as a result of this discussion item today, we need to go ahead and act at this time. And so I guess we voted. Do we also need to, Ms. Campbell, do we also need to approve?
We need a motion to approve the strategic plan priorities as they stand.
Okay.
And then we'll need a second for that and then a vote.
All right. So do I hear a motion to approve the strategic plan priorities as it stands?
I move that we approve the school strategic priorities.
Can I get a second?
I will second.
All right, so the motion carries. At this time, we will now move to the information items. Okay, first is the principal's report.
Nothing major to report right now. I think as I stated earlier, we're really in the season of MAP testing, and MAP really gives us good information to how we proceed in the second semester. And that's from kindergarten through 5th grade. It gives us good information because the report that the students and families receive tells and shows how much the student has grown from August until November, December. And so we look at that and we take a look at each student individually and kind of come up with a plan on, our interventions needed, our additional supports needed. But if not, then we look at them and say, hey, everything is going well. From August to December is usually where we experience our most growth. And usually last year, I believe we were over 65% of students showed or met their goal, their growth goal. And again, that's from August to the winter. From winter to spring is typically not as much growth, and that's with every child. But then we begin to look at it from August until the spring and April, and then that's where we see, the totality of their growth. And typically, we're usually pretty pleased about how the children and the teachers perform. So that's really what we're doing. Also, there'll be a lot of celebrations over the last 2 weeks of the semester, a couple of which the parents will be invited to. And so, we really want to make sure that the kids do their best on the test and just stay safe. And so we can get everyone out to their holiday breaks. And that's about all that we have from the principal's report. I welcome any, well, let me mention this. I wasn't going to because the scores, I can't share them with you. But we are beginning to receive CCRPI scores. And those are the state's reports and state scores on how we did last year as far as our end of grade testing. And so in the past, before COVID, every school got one score. You got a score, and they would rank schools based on that score. They would put schools on the improvement list based on that score. But now they're not doing one score; they're scoring each category differently. But some of those scores are starting to come out, but not the public. They should be what we were told. They should be made public next Friday. But I would welcome any of you to have a conversation. I think you'll be pleased with where Humphrey sits. But just know that our CCRPI, Career and College and Career Readiness Performance Index is what that stands for. Those will be coming out soon. And even though they don't do a total score and they do it by components, you can still kind of compare Humphreys to some of our sister schools. And so that's something else to look out for. Other than that, I think that's about it. I will entertain any questions that anybody might have at this time.
All right. Thank you, Principal Trimble. We will now hear to see if we have any additional information items. The next item is the cluster advisory team report. I don't think that's applicable.
Oh, well, it kind of is, and I think we have to elect Miss Reese Kelly. I believe that you will have to elect Miss Reese Kelly to that position.
Yes, that is one of our action items on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay. So that will fall under the elect cluster representative, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we have two action items that we need to go back to. But before we do that, is there any other additional discussion items that anyone want to present? Okay.
Just a reminder to people, if you have not yet completed all of your required trainings, please do so. If you have any problems finding those those trainings, you should find them under Ellis, but go ahead and contact the Go Team people and they can help you find the required trainings.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Campbell. Okay. So returning back to our action items, the first thing, order of business regarding that, well, I want to say the first thing order of business, but something that we need to decide on is a date for our makeup meeting. Do anyone would like to propose a date?
Would December the 13th be too late for us to have the makeup meeting?
Is there a particular time frame, Mrs. Campbell, that we have
What
to
date
have
did
that?
you propose?
December
December
13th.
13th.
Okay, I'm out for a meeting.
I am as well.
Okay, December the 6th is next Wednesday, I think.
Do I have to be done before the end of the semester?
No, we have to have 2 meetings before the end of the semester. So we have had our September meeting and then we're having this end of November meeting. So technically we will have had 2. So we could make it up next semester if you wanted to. There's not a lot of business if we do it on the 6th on the 6th, there's not a lot of business that we have to do because we're doing all of the business now. About the only thing that I can think of that we have not done is we need to find another community representative, community member, and another parent member. So if we find those before our next meeting, we would need to act on them. But other than that, I think we're pretty well covering everything here. At our last meeting, we did all of the discussion and information we needed to do. We just simply couldn't vote on various items.
No, that's a good point. How do we feel about December the 6th for everyone to complete that makeup meeting? I know
I'm
it's kind of short.
available.
Ms. Reese Kelly, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I said I'm available. That day works.
Does that date conflict with anyone else?
Dr. Marshall or Ms. Campbell, how many total do we have to have?
We have to have 6 total meetings, if I
Okay.
remember correctly. And the thing we had in August doesn't count.
Okay, okay,
Because I checked with the Go Team people and they said, yes, we have to make up the October meeting.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, December 6th is good for me.
Ms. Sumlin says it is also good for her as well.
Okay. So it doesn't sound like, or I doesn't see that Ms. Lanier says good for her as well. All right. Ms. Barnes, is it okay for you? Are you available December the 6th?
December 6th is good.
Okay. All right.
Dr. Marshall, did you get a chance to speak to that parent who expressed some interest?
No, that's on my to-do list for this week.
Okay.
Okay, so we need an actual like motion and a second. And it looks like we've already voted, so.
Yeah, we did. All right.
So I will make a motion.
So do I hear a motion, which is Mrs. Campbell, to approve this meeting date?
I will make a motion that we approve December 6th as our makeup meeting date.
And I will second that motion. Ms. Barnes.
All right, motion carries.
And the vote was unanimous that December 6th, we will meet for a short time, hopefully. Thank you.
The next action item is to elect a cluster representative. Do we have any nominees? We have to nominate, correct?
I nominate Ms. Reese Kelly.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Campbell. Is there any other nominees? So right now we have Mrs. Reese Kelly that was elected to the cluster representative. At this time, well, we don't necessarily need to vote, but if everyone is in favor, all right. Well, congratulations, Ms. Reese Kelly. We now have a cluster representative for the Humphreys Go Team. Ms. Reese Kelly, do you have any questions around that? That role, that
No,
title? Okay.
no, I know we discussed it before and I was making sure that I could put it into my schedule, but I went to the last one and it was good and I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right, thank you for that. And so we did go ahead and make our announcements regarding the trainings that are required Are there any other announcements at this time?
I don't have an announcement, but I have a question. Was anyone else able to get into that budget planning training? Because I tried on that day that it was going live and I couldn't find where I was supposed to go into.
I was not able, because of the timing and the schedule, to try to get to that training. But I went to a training last year, so I had just assumed that it was very similar.
Okay, thank you.
Right, any other questions, comments of concerns? Well, we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time?
This meeting is open for public comment. I have not received any forms, but I do see on my screen an iPhone number that I don't know. Is this a member of the public?
It looked like the number went away.
Went away.
Okay. All right, is there any other additional business at this time? Well, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. The second,
I second.
thank you, Ms. Reese Kelly. All in favor, please raise your hand or use your reaction button to show that you are in favor. All right. And that looks like everyone. Good job. So at this time, the meeting is adjourned. And so we will see each other next week, December the 6th at 3:30. You all have a good afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everybody.
Great meeting.